Hey guys, I'm Morthadon, and we are back for episode 196 of Boruto. I said that backwards than I normally do. But anyway, yes, Boruto episode 196. Yeah, so last time we had the tour around the Leaf Village, right? Kawaki was trying to pick out a vase. He kind of had like a little PTSD moment and dropped it and broke it, and I love the way they handled it. I'm glad the characters didn't get angry with him. They realized that he was they realized that he was going through some shit, and they didn't just freak out and yell at him for dropping and breaking one of the vases, you know. Um we also had at the very end of the episode Koji infiltrating the Leaf Village because he was able to and Delta wasn't, which means that he is registered as a Hidden Leaf citizen that is like won't show up as strange chakra when he enters the barrier to the Leaf Village. So yeah, that's very interesting. I'm super curious as to what that means. In the last discussion, I talked a little bit about my theories, as crazy as they might be, but I mean the hints are there. But yeah, I'm excited to move forward into whatever we're getting into now. So let's get started, shall we? All right, we're gonna start here in five, four, three, two, one, now. There still is. Yeah. Which implies, since Koji goes in, that he is registered, so. Who are you, Koji? Good way to lose Delta and not have to deal with her. Hmm. So is he going to be taking Kawaki back now, or does he just want to keep observing? A froggy. What do the froggies mean? I mean, I have an idea, but it's a mission, though. For his mission, why does he have to lose Delta? Is it possible that Koji isn't 100% Kara? Could he be doing a mission for someone else? Do boop boop boo doo. Maybe that's a crazy theory too. I don't know. Um, yeah, it's actually been a bit since I watched the last Boruto episode. Hopefully, I didn't forget anything from the last episode. I think I have a pretty good memory on what happened, but I ended up recording ahead and then took a little bit of a break. So this is me after the break recording. So it's been probably 2 weeks instead of the typical like 1 week, maybe a little more than 2 weeks. All right. A binding force. Interesting. That's right. Put the vase back together with glue. I'm sure that will be easy. Let Kawaki have a turn. Let him play some video games. Hey. The rest of Team 7. Mitsuki. That was the weakest cha. I reject the idea of handshakes. Where is Naruto? He's supposed to be keeping an eye on him, right? At all times. Been through hell. Oh, that's a really cool moment. Glue? What does he plan on doing with that glue? There he is. That's right. He's blushing. Himawari. Alright. Cool. Some hand to hand. Even Himawari came. Alright. Yep. No chance. As expected, yes. Definitely as expected. Yeah, he doesn't know how. Hmm. So when he activates his, does Boruto's activate again? Yep. So he's activating his so that way Boruto has his. Hmm. Hmm. So what does karma actually do for you other than we know it absorbs chakra? Does it improve his hand-to-hand combat too? Okay. Naruto winced a little bit, so maybe it does increase your physical. He's faster too. Nice. Take it for me, Shadow Clone. Seemed like the jutsu came out more powerful, maybe, than usual. Yep, okay. Thank you, Mitsuki. So it just makes you all around stronger for having the mark activated. Behind you. Hey, you didn't trip him up. Nice. Nope, he caught it. It was a good move, though. Yeah. Cool. So, so he was supposed to be training, right? But that was more like practicing what he already knew. Hmm. I guess I'll talk about that more. Hmm. Time to train. Yep. With great power comes great responsibility, young Peter. What's Kawaki thinking about? Hmm. Not the kind of training he's used to. Jeez. Well, I remember saying at first I didn't really see what, like, I knew Jigen like felt evil, but I never really saw any of his actions be deemed as like evil. Obviously, we're starting to see more of that with what they did with the kids, and now this and everything. Kind of the stuff I've been waiting to see to make me really hate this man. Hmm. Jeez. All right. Well, more of his shitty past getting pieced together. What does Kawaki have to say? Hasn't done shit with the glue yet. I almost thought like it was gonna be the bottle was gonna be empty, like the glue. Hmm. You came in for a reason, didn't you? Aw. Damn. Hmm. Heard that before of we're all connected and everything. Fuck. That gave me chills. I feel like there's been several times where Naruto has fought his own shadow clones. Aww. Ugh. That shit gave me chills, man. Is it good? Drain me more. Ah, she wants to learn the Chidori. Be interesting how, hey, seems like multiple families are thinking about rivalries right now. Is that both the broken one? The one from the store? Or no? Was that just regular trash next to it? Alright. He's gonna fix it. Uh-oh. The frog. Is Koji watching through the frog, or is the frog gonna relay info? Oh, yeah, his eyes are kind of frog-like. I think he's watching through it right now. Shit. Alright. Damn. That was so like it's funny because like halfway through the episode I was like okay, they recapped a lot of the Koji stuff, and then they recapped some stuff from last episode, and then they even showed some new stuff this episode, and then showed us it again in like flashbacks with a couple other people thinking about it, you know? And I was like, okay, that was like a little bit like repetitive in the first half, but the second half got really good. So, I mean, I'm clearly looking past those parts because I like, and obviously like I understand why they had those like cutbacks, you know? Maybe Sarada's not so much because Sarada like cut back and thought about Boruto's jutsu that he used, you know? And it was like, okay, we didn't need to see him fire off that jutsu again. But I think Kawaki's was little flashback was important to show us what is on his mind, you know? But alright. Let's see. That is gonna be it for episode 196, guys. Yeah, so I definitely love that episode. Like I said, first half had me like almost not liking it. at first, because I was like, all right, just a lot of recap, a lot of flashback stuff, but no, that second half was awesome. I had chills throughout like almost the whole second half, and I actually got a little bit emotional. Like, to be completely honest, guys, I felt like a little bit of tears welling up a tiny bit when, like, I think it was right when Kawaki said, "You don't hit, do you?" Like, just that question, like, just gave me chills again, even just repeating it. Like, that was such a. He's such, like, a hard and stubborn character that hearing him ask that really just, I felt like, took it to another level of complexity in a way. I don't know if that's right, what I'm trying to say, um but yeah, anyway, let's go from the start of the episode, and then I'm gonna get more into that and Kawaki's character development this episode, because he had some really good character development this episode. But so in the beginning, we had a little bit extra from the point of view of Koji infiltrating the Leaf. He said that he's on a mission, and that's why he did this. Why he like it seemed like he was saying like, this is why I have to ditch you, because I'm on a mission. So does he mean the mission that he's on for Jigen, or does he mean that he's on a mission for someone else? Like, I mentioned it during the reaction, but it might just be like a harebrained theory, Um, but I think it's entirely possible that Jigen, or that Koji could be working for a third party, maybe investigating Kawaki and investigating Kara and everything. But it very well also could just be that he likes to work better alone. He doesn't want to have Delta looking over his shoulder constantly because it's annoying to him, kind of thing, and he just wants to do this on his own. It very well could be that, and he could still be just 100% loyal to Kara, and there's nothing more about it. But once again, more frog stuff. I think the last time we saw him summon a frog, it was like a steampunky mechanical one, but here it seemed like that was a legitimate frog. So, and he was doing seemingly like sage type jutsu, like looking through the frog's eyes and stuff like that, and his eyes turned frog like and stuff like that. So it's just lending more to the credence of my theory of, Koji having some relation to um Jiraiya, whether it's you know, a love child that he didn't know about, or he did know about but never revealed in old Naruto. Maybe it's just something they never talked about. But or it was, a love child that he never knew about, and the child, learned about his father, learned about Jiraiya, and saw what kind of shinobi he was, and kind of followed in his footsteps, whether it's for nefarious purposes or because he idolized him or something. But learned the Rasengan, learned Sage Jutsu and everything. But thing is don't you learn Sage Jutsu on that Mount Miyoboku or whatever it's called? And I imagine they don't just train anyone, so if he was a bad guy, why would they train him? But maybe he learned through some other means or something? I don't know, but a lot of questions. Obviously, that is just a theory. Another crazy theory I had was, what if they he does look a little different from Jiraiya, obviously some changes, but I was thinking like, what if they somehow got Jiraiya's body that just sunk to the bottom of that ocean, after his death, and they did all kinds of science experiments on him and kind of like used his body to bring him back to life, but maybe not the personality of Jiraiya, maybe like something else, like another personality is inhabiting the body that they just turned into a mechanical, not mechanical, but like a scientific ninja tool kind of thing, like they did with Kawaki, having like the whole body a scientific ninja tool. I don't know. Like I said, that's probably the most far-fetched theory, is that they went and fetched his body. I definitely do not think that's the case. But I definitely think that some kind of relation to Jiraiya, though, mainly just because of all the similar jutsu to what Jiraiya was capable of, and the white hair. As he's obviously younger. He's not an old man, and that's the same thing with Jiraiya. Jiraiya had white hair all through his life, not just as he got older. But anyway, I've talked so much about this, like every discussion now since Koji showed his moves and everything. So we'll move on from that. I apologize. I didn't mean to go so in depth, but I kind of got to rambling. Um, so the hand to hand combat with Naruto, uh, was cool, but they called it training, and I guess you could consider that training, but it's kind of more practicing because really Naruto didn't teach him anything, which is one thing that was like a little disappointing, right? It was a display of the power that they already possess. It wasn't the characters like it wasn't Naruto teaching his son new moves or new ways to fight or beating him so bad to teach him a lesson. It was more like Boruto showed that he can look through deception. We learned, as the audience learned, that karma enhance. Well, I guess the characters learned it too, but karma enhances your physical abilities as well as your chakra abilities and everything. It just like Kawaki said, in simple terms, it just makes you stronger. So we did learn a couple things about that. But when I think training, I think like Naruto's gonna teach him some new moves, but really it was Boruto showing him the moves that he already knows, and Naruto being like, "Yeah, good moves," and then they ended it. So I was slightly disappointed with that. Like the training was cool. I liked Boruto looking through the deception and surprised like he didn't get a hit off Naruto, but he still, gave Naruto a little bit of a surprise. Like Naruto expected Boruto to be, naive and focusing too much on that new power, and then it ended up being a shadow clone. So, but yeah. Anyway, um, in the flashback from before we start talking about Kawaki in general, in Kawaki's flashback where he was training with Jigen, I noticed that Jigen's weapon was a long like bow staff kind of thing, but it was that black material that strongly reminded me of the kind of material that was used a lot with the Otutsuki and the tailed beasts and all that. We had a lot of that where and even pain and stuff like that where it's the metal that like chakra resonates through or whatever, and they'd able to stab it in people and like block their chakra or interrupt it or whatever, and stuff like that. It reminded me of that, so I wonder if that's what it's made out of or if it's just a similar metal that just looks the same. I don't really know what to make of it or what it means. I just kind of wanted to mention it because it's something that I observed. But on that note, Kawaki can't wield chakra, which is interesting. I never really thought about that. He wasn't trained as a shinobi, and that's not something that really came into my mind at all. We just like saw him fight, and I was like, okay, he's just got the same abilities as a shinobi. I didn't really think much of it, but in fact, he can't wield chakra, which means that the fact that his whole body is a scientific ninja tool, he's not actually wielding chakra. He's using his body as a weapon when he like morphs his arm and stuff like that. Um, so that's just an interesting little like it doesn't change his abilities, it just changes my understanding of his abilities because I assumed that took chakra to do what he did, like chakra control, but it doesn't sound like that's the case. So um seems like he's gonna be possibly looking into some training and stuff like that with Naruto and stuff. But I guess getting into the Kawaki stuff, which is mostly I guess the only other thing is before we get into the Kawaki stuff, because that's probably going to be a bit of talking, and then that'll probably be the last thing I talk about. But Sarada wants to learn the Chidori. Um, that's just a real quick thing I wanted to go over, which is interesting. It makes sense with Boruto getting the Rasengan, passing down the Chidori to Sarada will be pretty cool. My interest is like Boruto has manifested his Rasengan a little bit different. He's able to do the same one that our other characters have done, but he has his own variations, which makes it unique. I'm curious what kind of variations of the Chidori Sarada will get when she inevitably learns it. And I wonder how she will change it and morph it to fit her own style. So I think that'll be pretty exciting. But anyway, on to Kawaki, whose character development was just stellar this episode. You know, he's this he's this tough, hardened kid who has been through some shit, doesn't want to open up to anyone, and all that. But this episode, he started opening up. I think he's finally starting to really see this family dynamic and what it really means to be a family, and seeing the stuff that he never had. And just I already mentioned it a little bit, but just the moment where he watched them train, and he's like, oh, that looked like fun, and he's like, you don't hit, do you? And Naruto's just like, what? Like, didn't even really catch on seemingly to what he was saying, but obviously we had the flashback for context. And yeah, it's just a really sad thing to think about, is just, you know, the fact that he has this trauma from when he was a kid. And when you go through that from a young age, because even his father wasn't like, I can't remember if the father actually hit him or not. I feel like he might have like pushed him down, kind of. But the father wasn't very nice. And then he got taken by Jigen, who hit him while they trained and everything. So growing up, maybe he didn't even go to school or anything, so he might not have any idea that this isn't normal, right? This is his normal, what he's been through in his life, and he's starting to see that, like, maybe that's not normal after seeing all these, kids in this town spending time with their parents and everything, and all that. So it was just a really powerful episode for Kawaki and his kind of opening up a little bit. And usually he's like, oh, like, usually he just thinks like everything's stupid, but he sees like the Shadow Clones this episode, and he's like complimenting it, seeing like it seems useful. Oh, I almost forgot to talk about it. And that moment where he was like, if sorry, the moment when he talked about the Shadow Clones and saying I could make a clone of myself and then hit him to relieve stress. It was like, that was another moment that almost had me like tearing up a little bit, because the idea of this poor kid who, there's probably parts of himself that hate himself, and I know he talked about blowing off stress, but I bet there's parts of him where he's like, oh, he just wants to like make a clone of himself and just punch him and be like, you idiot, why'd you do this? Why'd you say that? Like, you're so stupid, and just kind of like that self-harm mentality and everything, and him talking about using the clones to be able to do that. It was just sad, man. Like, it got me almost. I was getting pretty emotional for him. And the shitty thing is we don't know all the context behind the first episode of Boruto, but it definitely led us to believe that Boruto and Kawaki are enemies in the first episode. And it really hurts me to think that with all this development we're getting, there's going to be something that tears it apart and leads them down different paths. And I mean, maybe maybe they could change it. I don't know. I can't honestly, it's been so long since I've seen episode 1. I can't really recall whether there was something like 100% said that made it seem like he was evil, or if it was only implied and I got the feeling that it was evil. Because if it was only implied and I got the feeling, then it could be a red herring, and maybe he's showing up after being away for a long time and here to help whatever happened, and everything. But yeah, if it was explicitly said that he's like, how could you do this? I'll defeat you or something, then it's like, oh man. I need to go back and watch that first episode now that I have the context and knowing the character. I remember thinking way back in like episode 1 or 2, or I don't even know anymore. It's been so long. When they first introduced, oh, why can't I remember his name? Denki. There we go. When they first introduced Denki, he kind of had like a blue kind of jacket on and kind of like the same color hair, and I was like, oh, maybe this kid grows up to be that character in the first episode or something, and it's gonna be like another Naruto Sasuke relationship where it's someone from the Leaf Village leaving and betraying and coming back later kind of thing. I remember having that theory way early on, so it's just kind of funny that we're here now and how wrong it was, But anyways, and then at the very end of the episode, I already kind of talked about it, but Koji is watching through the frog, so we have that. At least for now, he's observing still, so it's definitely curious. So, but yeah, I think that's going to be it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode as much as I did, surprisingly, because after the first half, I was almost like, eh, but then the second half, I was like, damn, that was amazing, So, thank you guys so much. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button if you did. Make sure you check out my Patreon if you want to see more from me. You can see a couple episodes ahead with my early access tier, as well as some shows that aren't even released to YouTube yet on my Patreon exclusive tier. So check all that out if you're interested. Link in the description, or it should be popping up on the screen, and I will see you in my future reactions. Bye-bye.